Hello. Welcome back to Flow with the Grow podcast. If you're new here, my name is Sophia or Sophie or Soph, whatever you please. I have many nicknames. And this is a podcast for all things wellness, health, fitness, mental health, physical health, nutrition. I bring on guests to share their expertise on different topics, and I love sharing just really relatable shit. I set out to create this podcast to be a way for me to share my journey within health, but also personal development and self-growth, and the things that I learn through the challenges, the frustrating times, the things that people don't really talk about on social media, or maybe it's more common now, but still needs to have a light to be shown on that, and just to have someone who you can relate with. And I'm your girl. Today's episode is going to be, and actually the next few that I'm going to do will be hopefully shorter, digestible, help you in your lifestyle for if you are wanting to live healthier mentally, physically, emotionally, through food, through working out, through mindset. This specific episode will probably be it can be, I guess, controversial, or there's many different opinions out there. And honestly, if you were to think about any fitness, nutrition, advice, or guidance, or whatever it is, you will find pros and cons. Like, that's why it's so confusing. I feel like one person is saying you should do this, you should avoid this food, and then another person is saying you should avoid this food, and then it's like there's nothing left. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to eat? And this is one that I have heard different opinions on, which the title, fruit. Should you limit fruit? Should you avoid fruit? What fruit is better for you? What fruit is healthier, more nutritious, going to help you towards your goals? And listen, you're going to find both ways. You're going to find things that have worked for people, that have not worked for people, whether they eat fruit or limits or avoid certain ones, like whatever it is. Okay, but this is going to be my perspective and my experience. So let's get right to it. My current mindset and perspective around this is that I don't believe you should necessarily avoid or restrict fruit or limit fruit. Number one, this goes back to the mindset of restricting foods. When you restrict foods, your mind, you want more of that food. So so let's say that you're going to restrict or limit donuts or pizza or chips, whatever your vice is that isn't as nutrient dense. Well, your brain is going to want more of that. And what happens is that you will then, it's like the all or nothing mentality. You go all out, you binge, you restrict, and then you can't help but go all out with that food. And here's the cycle that happens, that all or nothing mentality, the dieter cycle. You diet, you restrict, you have the food restrictions. You then deprive yourself. And you have physical cravings, emotional cravings. You then move into overeating and binging. And then you have guilt and shame and regret. And then you have negative thoughts and the strong, intense feeling to need to regain control again. This cycle goes on over and over again, and I know it all too damn well. It is a horrible way to live, and there's a much better way. Now, I'm not saying that will necessarily happen with fruit, because let's be honest, that really doesn't happen, I feel like, now that I know of or have heard of anyway. But it's the mindset, right? It's that all or nothing mindset that I'm trying to help you get away from, because I've been there, I have done that, and there's a much better way to live, a much more freeing way to live, like #food fucking freedom. It's amazing. So there's the mindset of it. Number two, who do you know that has eaten so much fruit that fruit was the cause of obesity or of weight gain? I'll wait. You can email it to me, flowthegirlpodcast@gmail.com. Message me on Instagram. Who do you know that has gained weight, is overweight, has more body fat than they did before by solely eating more fruit? That should be the least of our concerns and worries. And now the top of our list of habits to change within food. Fruit comes from the ground. It is like a source from Mother Earth, and it is very nutritious. Each fruit, it's the rainbow, right? They say eat the rainbow, and you can do that with vegetables, fruits, like all different kinds of foods, right? But fruit, there is a rainbow within fruit, and within each kind of fruit, there's different value, different nutritional value towards each fruit. I'm sure you have maybe heard of people say like, don't eat as many bananas because they're higher in sugar. So the third thing, or fourth, I don't really know, is that the sugar in fruit is much different than the sugar that is in, let's say, donuts, cookies, the overly highly processed type foods. Studies indicate that sugars consumed in their natural sources, so fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy products even, so sugars consumed in their natural sources do not impact health. But when the sugar is removed from its original source to then be refined and then added to sweeten other processed products, that will impact health. And that's what we need to minimize our intake of, and be thinking about what foods we need to be consuming less of versus if we should be consuming less fruits. And fruit also contains fiber, which is very important to our bodies and digestion. And since fruit contains fiber, your body reacts differently to its natural sugars. So the sugar from fruit reacts differently in your body than sugar from, like, let's say donuts, or the sugar in cereal, or the sugar in those overly highly processed foods. Hey, I wanted to take a quick moment to introduce you to Flow the Grow's sponsor, Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is a green supplement that I take every single morning or nighttime if I sometimes forget in the morning time. I started taking Athletic Greens a few years ago, actually, because I wanted to improve my gut health. I wanted to be able to supplement my greens, not in place of it. I will never say that a supplement should replace food. Food comes first. But sometimes you got to supplement where you need to, and a supplement can be a great resource for the nutrients that we may be lacking in our day-to-day lives. And for me, greens is one of them. So if this is your first time hearing me talk about Athletic Greens, what is it? Well, in one scoop, you are going to be absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. And this special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all the things. I personally love to take it in the morning. Lately, I've been doing aloe vera, like a little bit of aloe vera with water, and I shake it, drink it, and I add 1 drop of the vitamin D and K. I also love it with almond milk or coconut water. It's super easy and convenient. I get up in the morning, I take our dog for a walk, I have my coffee, I go work out, and then when I get home, as I'm making my first meal, I have my greens drink. So it's been a super convenient, easy way for me to squeeze it into my lifestyle, and it takes no time at all. Ever since taking it over time, I have noticed a huge difference in my digestion and, surprisingly, I know I've said this before, but sleep. It is lifestyle friendly, so whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, this will work for you. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no chemicals, no artificial anything, and it still tastes really good. I love that this is a small micro habit that has big benefit. It's just one thing that you can do every single day to take care of yourself and your health. So right now, if you want to implement this micro habit, simply visit athleticgreens.com/flow. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/FLOW, where you are going to get more for less. So Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5, which I mentioned I put that in my drink every single morning, and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. If you try it, let me know what you think, and let's jump back into the episode. And let's say you have diabetes, or you're thinking, well, if I eat just fruit, isn't that going to spike my blood sugar? When carbs, like a fruit, is paired with a healthy fat, or protein, the rate that those sugars enter your bloodstream decreases. So they get absorbed over a long period of time. And this results in a lower rise, a more sustained rise in your blood glucose. And you can have fun with fruit. There's so many different kinds. Like you can try different kinds, see what you like, see what you don't like, experiment, add them to salads as their own. I know some people put like salt on fruit, such as watermelon. I have done that actually. Maybe I've done that. But you can experiment with all different kinds of fruit. Like you can have fun with it. And when you eat it, change your mindset. Like, oh, I'm getting sugar from fruit. Like, no, you are providing your body with nutrients from the earth, from the ground, from this fruit that it's going to provide your body with nutrients and so many different nutrients. Like I said before, they all have different value and benefit. Nutrients is what I'm trying to say. Nutrients in different fruits. So like in blueberries, so different berries and versus bananas versus apples versus grapes versus oranges. So there you go. That is my take on fruit, on if you should limit fruit, on if you should avoid fruit. My answer is no. I don't think that you should or need to limit or avoid. Now, I must point out to you that this is like the average person, general population. I know that within the bodybuilding world, my fiance I saw her go through prep and even before prep, and when tracking her macros and things through prep, like I know that fruit is a carb. So like in that sense, maybe, yeah, she would have to watch the fruits that she eats or the amount or the type or whatever it was. So once you maybe get into like the nitty gritty of that, but overall, again, general population, that is still my stance. So if your goal is weight loss, to live healthier, lose body fat, gain muscle, I believe that there are so many other factors that you can look to into changing in different habits. And actually, I would argue to say that general population, most people could actually do well and better with eating more fruits. And listen, if you're eating the highly overly processed foods most of the time for most of your diets in your day and in your week and months and whatever, if you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna have a goal of eating more fruits, well, you might naturally just start to eat less of those overly highly processed foods. And at least in my experience with myself and what I've seen with coaching other people, when we took the standpoint of and mindset of implementing more vegetables, more fruits, so specifically more fruits, it actually helps them to not restrict, to not binge, to not overeat, to not have the all or nothing mentality, and to naturally eat less of the foods that are not as nutrient dense and the foods that they were wanting to eat less of. Again, those overly processed foods. And especially the sweets. Not saying that you can't have sweets, like a donut, ice cream, cookies, like I love those things too. It's all about balance. But I'm just saying it can naturally help you to eat less of those things when you start to incorporate more fruits. And I believe that eating more fruit, eating fruit in general, will not be the reason as to why you, let's say, can't lose weight or struggle to lose weight. I actually don't eat as much fruit as I used to, but I don't know if that's just because it's a natural thing for me because I used to eat a shit ton of fruit, like a lot of fruit. I don't know. Maybe I things just change, I guess, but I still do love fruit. So, all right, that's that. I hope this helps you in your kind of different, maybe shifting a perspective or mindset around fruit and brings in maybe some ease or like acceptance that, okay, yes, I can have fruit. Fruit is okay. Fruit is good. It's healthy. I don't really like to say good or bad, but it is serving my body. And I hope it frees that aspect and maybe it even relieves some worry about you eating fruit or more fruit. I would honestly love to know your thoughts on this, your perspective before and after listening to this. I would love some feedback and let's chat it up about what you thought about this episode, what you learned, and again, what you thought of before and after this. Like I mentioned before, you can email me at flowwiththegirlpodcast@gmail.com. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Sophia_Dawn41. And my podcast Instagram at Flow with the Girl Podcast. Feel free to shoot me a message on either of those platforms, and I would love to hear from you. And if you loved what you heard today and it helped you in any way, I would love if you shared it with a friend or family member or put it up on your stories and tag me. All right, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. And as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, week, weekend. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Flow with the Grow. I'll see you next week for your daily dose of positivity and growth.